And I'm really glad that we've got a number of friends from the Muslim Labour Network with us this evening, and we're going to be hearing a bit more from them. We're going to be hearing from everyone, actually, yeah, because the idea is it's going to be an interactive meeting. What we want to do is we're going to start off by asking everyone to introduce themselves, and what we're interested in is, what is it that the Labour Party needs to hear from Muslims? And how is it that Muslims can contribute towards our Labour efforts? Yeah? So if you could bear that question in your mind. What is it that the Labour Party needs to hear from Muslims? And how is it that Muslims can contribute to support the Labour Party? So we're going to listen to one another for about the first third of the meeting. We're then going to have some contributions from myself, from some others, from Muslim Labour Network and others in the room. What we really want to do from this meeting is we want to inspire more people to get involved in action, more Muslims in particular to be engaged in action with the Labour Party. And for us, those of us who are here in the room, who are mostly people who we know are sympathetic to, members or sympathetic to the Labour Party, that we would, from this meeting, we're going to go out and we're going to engage even more people. Yeah? And it's really important because we've got these elections coming up really soon. We've got only like 3 weeks to go now. And we've got an opportunity to have an historic win here in Westminster, to take Westminster City Council for the Labour Party and deliver real change. So we're in such an important period coming up, and we need as many people as possible to get involved. So the reason we're having this meeting in the middle of the election period, people say, oh no, we should be out canvassing, is because we want more people to get involved in canvassing and door knocking in these next few weeks. But also we want to identify, after these council elections are over, what are the things we want to be working on together as we build towards winning at the general election.
The Labour Muslim Network was a project set up about 18 months ago. And the purpose behind the Labour Muslim Network is quite simple, and that is to build an inclusive, cohesive organisation that brings together the Muslim community in engaging with politics and with the Labour Party more specifically. I think hearing some of the stories, hearing some of the issues that many of you have raised, we all know that in our current society, in the current political dynamics, everything from Brexit to the type of rhetoric that some of the media and our politicians espouse, it's not easy being Muslim. And there are some particular challenges facing our communities. And the Labour Muslim Network firmly believes that in order for us to address these challenges, in order for us to build a community that truly brings all parts together and brings all people together, that those interests lie within the only political party that has proven itself as being at the forefront of social justice, at the forefront of equality, and specifically with Jeremy Corbyn now at the forefront of justice, and that's the Labour Party. And first of all, one of the things that I am proudest of today is being able to see people from the Muslim community and people from the wider community here in Westminster come together. That's what we're all about. And so the project was set up really on two fronts. One is to bridge the Muslim community in its ideas, in its fervour, in its energy to the Labour Party. Because we believe that that's how we can build a better society, that's how we can bring about a government that's for the many, not the few. I had to get one of those in there at some point. So we do that through a number of different mechanisms. And actually, one of the interesting things about today's events, and often we've been doing a couple of these now across the country, and the first thing we get asked is, well, it's election time, why aren't you out there? Why aren't you knocking on doors and why aren't you canvassing? Well, the interesting thing is, in order for us to engage a community, we don't believe in transactional politics. You can't just have the Labour Party, you can't just have an organisation knock on your door when it's election time. We need to build relationships, we need to build communities, and we need to listen before we can lead. And the idea behind today's event is to listen to all of your ideas, all of your experiences, your needs, your hopes and your dreams, and be able to connect that to wonderful candidates like Steven and all your other councillors who have kindly showed up today. That's the beauty of what we're doing. And we have been in Wolverhampton. Today we're in Westminster. We will be in Kirklees and Walsall and everywhere in between, bringing communities together to listen, to take things away. So throughout the event today, when we start to get into the nitty-gritty of the policies, into things like the masjid, things like Islamophobia and hate crime, we're going to be taking all these notes down and hopefully building a vision for what Muslims in the Labour Party are looking for. We're not one homogenous community. There are a diversity of opinions, of ideas, of energies, and we are really keen to activate that. I mean, I was hearing that the Muslim community here isn't as engaged in the Labour Party as we would like to see. Well, that's where we see ourselves coming in being able to activate what is undoubtedly a talented, energetic Muslim community that is just waiting for someone to capture their hopes and dreams and to make sure that we can turn that into a movement and into a community that's really changing things both locally and nationally. So that's our very brief vision of what we're doing. And we've been around for about 18 months. We were in the general election. We were supporting different campaigns all across the country. We held a launch in Parliament, which some of you may have seen, which had wonderful support from the likes of Jeremy Corbyn, John McDonnell and Dawn Butler, all of whom came out and supported. And now we are on a tour to listen, to bring communities together. I am so incredibly excited about the opportunities ahead, not just because we have an incredible opportunity in these local elections to reverse the cuts, to really, rather than seeing youth centres disappear, of seeing young people finally getting engaged in politics, young people come together, the Muslim communities finally engaging in politics and saying, no, we have a stake in these elections, we have a stake in our future. And whether that's in the fighting the spike in hate crime since Brexit, I mean, our sister was brave enough to share some of her experiences, and I'm sure that we know that there are many more of those, and we can tackle those. Whether it's the economic issues that the Muslim community have faced. I mean, we're now seeing tangible evidence that Muslim communities are more economically disadvantaged, and in fact Muslim women are the most economically disadvantaged group in our society, in tackling those things and bringing about a Labour government. So while often when we have these talks and I talk to the community, I say these are precarious times, we also, I like to quote the words of Dr. King, who talks about the fierce urgency of now. And that's really what we're looking at. There is a fierce urgency of now and a fierce opportunity for us to take a Muslim community who is loaded with talent and energy and fervour to change society and bring about a more just and equal society, connect it to the Labour Party, get Steven Saxby as our next Member of Parliament, to get the local council as a Labour local council, Jeremy Corbyn as our Prime Minister, and a Labour government for the many, not the few. I repeated it. Once again, that's what we're here to do. Thank you to our hosts. Thank you all for coming out, and I cannot wait to hear more of your experiences, your views, and support you in any way we can.